What just happened?
Welcome to Dave. It's your first time back in 2 weeks, and this is how you do. You're like, what just happened? I mean, did we just start a show?
First of all, calm down. Secondly, everything on my computer froze. That's why I'm asking what just happened.
This is what happens when you give like a boomer a Dell computer from like 1996. Like, I don't know what's going on.
First of all, I plugged in, so I'm not even on my Wi-Fi. I'm hardwired in, so I should be good. That's why I'm questioning what's going on.
Is it on your phone line or is it on your Wi-Fi line? Are we using like dial-up from AOL days?
It's on the way. It's on the Frontier BIOS bullshit. I don't know. It should be working. My PlayStation 5 works just fine. So,
PlayStation 5. Hey, welcome to the podcast. This is Josh Kimball, US, and it's Dave 18. It's been 2 weeks, buddy. We missed you. I know it's only been a week. I'm glad you're back. I saw you commenting in the section over there about my Thielen take, and I'm here to take it if you want to give it to me. And we also have Finn with us, our DFS expert. Davey is out of the office. We gave him the night off because that dude works a lot. All right, we're gonna give our what?
It's a poor guy.
Oh, I thought you said fuck him. I was like, what? Are we gonna fight right now? Like,
play more DFS. Play more DFS. He would have to work less.
Or win more DFS because last week was not good for this guy, but we'll talk about that later. Before that, though, we got our starts and sits of the week. We're only gonna do one each because we are on limited time, and we have a buy or sell segment for later on. Dave, are you prepared for your first start of the week?
Damn it! No, not really.
No, he's not.
Do my draft. You want me to do everything at the same time? I'm sorry, I have a real job. I'm sorry that I have a real job. I don't get to stay at home all day like you. I'm out here sweating my balls off in the hot sun. You know how that is, so I don't want to hear it.
You still have that? Do you still have that ball toner or the?
I do. I do have my Manscaped stuff still.
That's good. That's good news. We'll use some more because I use a lot less now that I'm becoming an office bitch. All right, listen. Yeah, of course I do. All right, since you're not prepared, which is totally fine. I told you at 6:00, get your DraftKings lineup ready. Not DraftKings and FanDuel. I
wasn't even home at 6:00. I want you to know that, motherfucker. So fuck you.
This is why he's
asshole.
Back.
All right.
Is this why this podcast is
on 75? Yes.
If you go to Apple Podcasts, this is mature.
Yes.
only when this guy is on the show. Let me start off with my start of the week. This is the total opposite of last week. This is Adam Thielen. He's playing Detroit. I'm surprised Dave didn't put this as his start of the week. I always let Dave pick first because I really want to give him the advantage, so I have the hard ones. But Thielen was a slam dunk. They're playing Detroit. Detroit gives up the second most, I think, passing touchdowns on the year, which is ridiculous. They can't stop anybody. Thielen's going to be it's going to be the opposite of that game script last week, where they're going to be in the red zone. They're going to throw it to him. They're going to try to prove a point that, hey, look, we are good at football, because last week they didn't look good. Dave, you can attest to that. They looked horrible, didn't they?
Who, Minnesota?
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't look good.
They didn't look good. It should have been I'm not trying to rag on Dave, but it should have been way worse. Baker missed 6 passes to a wide open Odell. It made me look totally ridiculous.
Baker's a trash game.
Well, I know he's a trash. I've been saying that. I told you 2 years ago. But my point is, Adam Thielen will score multiple touchdowns this game. He's going to be a start. He's very, very, very touchdown dependent, and he'll score 2. What happened, Dave? What's going on over there in Dave's world?
My computer is about to die, so give me just a second. Talk amongst yourselves.
This is what I go through. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad I asked you to join the full show instead of just the second half, because
you'd be pulling me in real quick.
You notice every time you're on, Davey's stuff goes out, or Dave's stuff goes out. Anyway, what do you think about Adam Thielen this week? He didn't score last week, like I said.
So you think you're calling multiple touchdowns?
Yeah, I think they're going to try to prove a point of this is our offense. Kirk Cousins, our guy. He looked bad last week, but he's been pretty damn good all year. Besides last week. If
you're making that call, he better be in your DFS lineup, especially on FanDuel, where touchdowns are very dependent. Yeah, I mean, listen, that he is a touchdown scorer. But it's funny, he and Jefferson get the same amount of target. They get the same amount of love. It's just Thielen's just so much more efficient with those targets. But then Jefferson finally got that end zone look last week. So I don't know. I mean, Jefferson started off slow last year and then really hammered it. So I'm not saying we're going to see a changing of the guard, but I think it's going to be a little more, not just Thielen in the end zone all the time. But it is Detroit, and Detroit sneakily keeps all these games like stupid close out of nowhere. And, they're not going to be in a position where they're going to have to run Dalvin Cook into the ground. So, I mean, I can see it in the realm of possibility. But again, if you're calling a multiple touchdown game, he should be in your FanDuel lineup, and I can't wait for that later on.
Thielen made my FanDuel lineup because I'm calling the two. I usually lean on my starts of the week and then put them in my FanDuel lineup somehow. So like half my research is already done because I already threw them in there. So when I talk to you, I'm like, yeah, I know all this stuff. Yeah. Like I know Detroit's rated dead last in PFF against passing. Like they're horrible. They can't stop anybody, but somehow they keep it close. Dave, are you back?
No. Yeah, but I can't find the charger, so good luck. I don't know how long it's gonna last. I have my phone ready to hop on once.
All right, look at that.
I don't know how long
Dave
it's gonna last.
Ultra prepared this week. Dave, give me your start of the week. I just ran out.
12 minutes left.
All right, we got this. I think it's 12%, but he doesn't know the difference.
No, it literally says 12 minutes. You dumb bitch. Stupid motherfucker. 6%, 12 minutes. Is that what do you want? Up to date? You want me to up to date you every single minute? We can
Dave,
do that.
I want your start of the week. I already know who it is. Tell the world.
Corey Davis is my start of the week. They're playing the Falcons. The Falcons are terrible. Corey Davis has had 2 big weeks. He's had 2 terrible weeks. I think he'll have another big week this week. The Falcons aren't good. They're just not good at all. So, damn it, I'm getting updates. I think Corey Davis is – I love Corey Davis. And this is another time to start him. Oh, what the?
I'm just afraid of Jamison Crowder. We saw him come last week and just take a lot of stuff I didn't think would happen. Corey Davis to get his touchdown in that revenge game, which was nice. I didn't start Corey Davis anywhere because I already gave up on him. Dave is gone. So it's just
what about anything on Elijah Moore? I know he played. It was concussion last week. I mean, I got to believe with Crowder back, if Moore is back, that's probably not great for Davis. And I have to play Davis in season long, but I got to believe that would. I mean, Davis was a big play last week. It was a big play. That was it.
Davis was a good play last week. Like I said, I did not play him. I didn't trust Zach Wilson. I kind of gave up on that offense. I wanted to see more because you saw week 1, Davis was amazing, and then steadily went down and lost. I don't know what happened, but I can see Dave's point of him becoming start of the week and maybe get you a wide receiver too. I don't see anything wrong with that.
Yeah, I think I like that more if Elijah Moore's out again, just because they're going to be running a similar route tree, I would think. Given Crowder is going to be, taking the underneath stuff. So, I mean, like I said, I'm playing him season long, so I'm on board with it. But like it even more if Elijah's out.
Yep. Okay, so my sit of the week, since Dave is gone, we're going to pivot to mine. And my sit of the week is Brandon Cooks against New England. It's just simple. New England shuts down. Well, they just traded their best cornerback away, which kind of scares me. I wrote this before that happened. You know what I mean? I was already prepared to say Brandon Cooks not because of Brandon Cooks, because of Mills. The quarterback is just trash there. I think the first time he played, he made Brandon Cooks an all-star, but since then, Mills has been trash. He's playing New England, who New England just shut down Tom Brady. Like that, I didn't expect that. I thought Brady was going to go out there and just torch him, light him on fire.
Yep.
Brady was frustrated. I don't know if it was the weather. I don't know if the defensive players know Brady so well, or a little bit of both. But I'm super surprised. So if they did that against him, then Mills has targeted Brandon Cooks 7 times a game, so that's pretty good, right? But he's not coming down with a lot, especially last week. He only had 47 yards. Mills' yards per attempt is 4.1. 4.1.
Gross. It's ugly.
Like at that point, just call Cam. Just call Cam up. Like what is Cam doing right now? He's a starting position.
Especially with Tyrod as your other quarterback. I feel like Cam and Tyrod's games are so similar. You wouldn't have to change the offense that much. But
exactly.
Tyrod and Mills are very different.
And Mills is here he is. Here's the Joker. He's back. Should I bring him in now or should I wait till he sits down?
You tell me. I'm just waiting for that upward face angle.
There he is.
There it is.
Here's the upward face angle. Look who's
I'm so annoyed. I'm so annoyed right now.
I mean, he only had time to set up his computer all night, but it's okay. All right.
Can we get this guy a webcam? Because his phone picture looks so much better than that grainy ass camera he's using for his computer.
It's because I got an awesome phone. That's why.
Now we're in the Blair Witch Project over here.
So this is the house. If you want to see it.
How screwed are we since he was using plug-in the internet and not Wi-Fi?
Oh man, we're good. He's back. Look, About a month ago, he was out in the boonies. Now he's in society, back living in the Richie Rich houses. Congratulations, Dave.
You're welcome.
I just told everyone to sit Brandon Cooks because he's playing the Patriots and Davis Mills is trash. And I know
that.
I know he gets peppered the targets, but dude, Davis Mills averaged 4.1 yards per attempt last week.
It was bad. It was terrible.
Now they're playing the Patriots. Who just shut down Tom Brady?
They were hyped for that though, man. They were hyped for Brady. Like that was like Belichick in their like season. That was their Super Bowl. I don't know. I mean, I get what you're saying. It's
look at Bill Belichick's record versus rookie quarterbacks. Just the numbers are there. He trashes them. Like this is not going to be.
I'm not saying Mills is going to have a good game.
I mean, they might bracket coverage Cooks because he's like their only offensive weapon.
I mean, that's what I would do if I was anybody playing Houston. They have nobody else. You're right.
Yeah.
So
make Anthony Miller beat me.
Yeah. And what does Belichick do the best? He shuts down their best offensive weapon. So it's going to be a lot of. I don't even know who else they have. Who else? Who?
David Johnson, Philip Lindsay. Hello.
Mark Ingram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jordan Akins. Hello. What is wrong with you?
Keep asking. Who else do they have?
Anthony Miller, Nico Collins.
We're just naming players now.
I'm literally just trying to name players on Houston.
Kiki Kuti.
I think he got cut, but him too.
100%.
I can't even take Dave Sears right now with Viking.
I know. I just saw. Can I edit that? I'm trying to see if I can edit that.
No, that's on brand.
I can't.
Who you are, and it's okay.
I guess I can't go back and mess it. Let me see if I can. No, it's fine.
Oh God, Dave! I just want your sit of the week. Your number one sit of the week.
I got two of them, but I'm going with Miles Sanders. Did you see what he did last week? Philadelphia doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. All they want to do is pass. Apparently, like I know the game got out of hand last week. Like I get it, but 2 rushing attempts in the entire game. Like it wasn't that much of a blowout from literally the first snap. Like it was relatively close for a little while. And you gave that guy 2 rushing attempts. Gainwell's getting all the receptions right now. And I just even Hurts, besides the fact that he's awesome for fantasy, is not a good NFL quarterback. He's an average NFL quarterback. But his legs and all that trash late game heroics he's getting are making his fantasy stats look great, which you love. But the rest of that team, Devontae Smith's decent. Miles Sanders, I used to like him. No, I don't want him. I'll be honest, even like when I said sit CEH a couple weeks ago, he's been good the last 2 weeks. I'm still not like I don't love him. I mean, you got to start him because he's in that good offense. But this is how it is with Miles Sanders right now. Philly sucks. I don't like him, and I just think it's a bad spot. I forget who they're playing. Oh, Carolina. They're playing Carolina, who's locking up everybody right now. Carolina's playing great defense. So you put all that together. Gilmore. I mean, he's a corner, but still,
he'll be out. He's out for a couple weeks.
Yeah, I doubt he'll play.
Okay.
No, he's not
Henderson.
They got CJ Henderson. Carolina's defense, like Carolina's making moves. I like it, and I don't know. Just put all that together. I don't like it. If you got any better options, start someone else. Miles Sanders ain't it.
No, I'm definitely on you, man. That guy's been since the beginning of last year with that infamous text message I sent you about Miles Sanders.
Another trash can, yeah.
And then since then, I've not been a fan of Miles Sanders because they're not using him the way he should be used at all. And you're right. They abandoned the run way too fast. It's like their coach doesn't know how to manage a game. He's just like constantly like something goes wrong, pass. Like, is he a Madden player or is he an NFL coach? Because I can't tell the difference.
It's insane. Like Miles last year, I feel like didn't look good and then just ripped off those long runs to make himself look better. This year, it's almost the exact opposite. Like I'm watching him play because I'm in Philly, so I get all the local games. He actually looks good. Like he's ripping off long runs and like last week, they were missing 4 of their 5 offensive line starters, and he's still it's just weird. Like they just don't know how to use him. Like last year, I thought it was more of a Miles Sanders thing. This year, I think it's more of an Eagles thing. And I mean, he actually looks good when he runs the ball, and they just don't hand him the ball.
Hey, Dave, are you watching TV?
The Dodgers are on.
Of course, I'm watching TV. Can you turn it down so I don't hear the commercials?
First of all, we've literally been on for like 5 minutes in here, so don't act like I'm the crazy one. You could have told me that 5 minutes ago.
Today has been such a seriously at work. It's been such a shit show day, and it just becomes worse when he shows up. Like you can't turn on TV and fill out a DraftKings lineup. What are you good for?
First of all, I have a DraftKings lineup, and now I can't look at it because this freaking computer's dead. So I was setting it up upstairs while I was on the computer. And now I can't go look at it from my phone.
Have a little buy or sell segment before we get into our DFS talk. 5 guys who I think either are really, really bad right now or over the moon. And the first guy is Taylor Heineke. My start of the week last week, he's been a quarterback 1 in 3 straight weeks. He's been on fire. He's led Finn's guillotine league to the top. Right? Are we buying or are we selling Heineke?
Selling.
I
don't know. I don't know if I trust him. Do you trust him?
I trust that defense has looked way worse than we thought it was going to, and Heineke has to throw the ball. So, fair. Do I trust Heineke or I trust the situation? Obviously, I would love to insert a different, better quarterback in that situation, but I'll take a quarterback in that situation. And it seems like he's finally him and McLaurin, him and F1, they're connecting. And I don't love the LT3 out for 4 weeks for both Guillotine and for Heineke, but I think I'm buying out of necessity.
I mean, if you're in a 1 quarterback league, I'm passing. If you're in to me, because I have a hard time trusting guys like this. Maybe he is the next Kurt Warner. I don't know, who knows? But he's playing at his peak. I don't know if he can sustain that. I don't know if I trust that. But I mean, I guess ride it while he's hot. But if you give me the option to keep him or sell him, and I get something that's decent for him, he's gone for me.
So what's decent? Out of curiosity, what would you define as decent?
I guess it depended on what if you could get I don't know, what about Ryan Tannehill? I think I'd rather have Tannehill.
Yeah, I don't know if that's happening. I mean, Curtis Samuel's back, so the master of the dink and dunk. So Heineke can just dink it off to him, and he's only going to get more playing time. He seems to be doing well with F1. Yeah, I'm with you in theory. It's not someone I love, but yeah, that defense just looks bad.
If they keep throwing it a million times, that's true. It's fair.
Look, I'm starting Heineke in a lot of leagues because I do believe him. I am buying him because you're not adding on to the rushing yards he gets. It's not Daniel Jones or Lamar or even Josh Allen, but he's still top 5 in rushing attempts at the quarterback position. Last week he got you 41 yards on the ground. That's an extra 4 point. That's an extra touchdown if you're playing in 4-point leagues. You know what I mean? So I believe in Heineke. I think he's going to be okay. He's going to throw the ball. And yeah, he's established his connection with McLaurin, and it's perfect. I love it. I'm starting Heineke anywhere. Over Tannehill.
Okay, are we not worried about Fitzpatrick coming back at all?
I'm not. Why would you play him when you have Heineke there? Why would you? You have a young guy.
I don't know. I'm just asking.
Right, but let's say they're losing or they're a
listen. Taylor Heineke's no franchise quarterback. He's not that guy. So maybe
is he worse than Ryan Fitzpatrick though? I mean,
I don't. That's what I'm asking. I don't know.
Didn't Fitzpatrick have the same injury that James White just had that knocked him out for the whole season? The hip, whatever, subflexion, or I don't know. If anyone is a doctor watching,
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how long he's out for. I don't even know if he's coming back.
Very vague
out for a while. So
they've been very vague about it.
Yeah, no, you're right.
All right. Let's move on to the next guy. My freaking kryptonite. The guy let's just get out there. Brandon Ayuk. Guy's been a failure. I've traded him in multiple leagues this week, actually. I traded him straight up for Hunter Renfrow in 2 leagues. Straight up.
You should have. That's how bad he is.
Yeah.
He's cuttable. He's cuttable. He's 100% cuttable.
Absolutely. So we're all set. We're all selling. We don't want to buy low.
No.
The dude is not even worth rostering, like you said.
So if he's on the waiver wire and I have a nobody or I have a guy I put on IR, maybe. But even still, I'm not interested in him because 1, that's a running offense. They want to run the ball. 2, they have Kittle and Debo who have both clearly made it pretty clear that they're both better. And Ayuk, either he's in the doghouse or he just forgot how to play football. I don't know what's going on. But I have at this point, we're 4 weeks in, he hasn't done anything, and I don't see that changing.
Lance didn't look good passing the ball last week either. I mean, he made he extended plays and made some easy passes, which is why I agree with you. I think Debo and Kittle are going to be the easier plays. If you're a rookie quarterback, short intermediate routes. But Lance did not look good throwing the football. I saw a GIF on Twitter of him throwing a ball that literally bounced off the turf and hit Ayuk in the ass. It wasn't good.
This should have been a Debo, a piggyback with Debo. So you buying or selling him? A quick
buying Debo. I'm buying Debo all day.
Even with Lance in there, are you afraid that
He's gonna get the ball. They'll do those little quick screens and stuff, and
Yak monster.
You know,
I'm buying Debo, especially
100%.
with Lance. Even more with Lance, probably.
Okay, here's one for you. The second coming of George Kittle and Travis Kelce combined. Dawson Knox with his two tutties, and he's a beast. All I know is when they're in the red zone and when Josh Allen's in trouble, Dawson Knox is his safety net.
Yeah,
he's there. He doesn't check down to the running backs. He checks down to Dawson Knox.
He's a buy, and I'll tell you exactly what you said. One, there's literally 2 tight ends that I want. And if I don't got either one of them, they're all the same. And you're looking for touchdowns, and that's what Dawson Knox can get you. He's not gonna catch 9 passes. He's not Kelce. He's not gonna go 9 for 120 and a touchdown, but he might go 5 for 40 and 2 touchdowns, and that's all you want from any tight end. I mean, I really like Hawkinson, and Kittle is still fine, but if you don't got one of those 4 guys, they are all garbage at this point. I hate them all. I hate the tight end position. And yes, I want Dawson Knox. 100% on board.
With you there. I mean, the only thing I would add to that is like Steph Diggs owners hate this, but like Josh Allen's become more complete quarterback. He's spreading it around. He's not force feeding anything. Like he's putting up these massive numbers, and everyone seems to be eating. So I got to believe his growth as a quarterback is only good for Dawson Knox. Like sucks for Diggs, but it's good for the Bills and it's good for Dawson Knox.
Yeah, I'm not liking that at all. Emmanuel Sanders, go away. Too much.
Sanders doesn't suck. Beasley solid. Like they got options there for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Here's a top 5 pick for you. Alvin Kamara. Are we buying or selling him?
Come on, man. Come on.
Listen. His
so at what? Down. At a top 3 running back, are we buying or selling? Or are we buying just in general?
I'm just saying.
If I can buy him low, 100% I'm buying him. If I can give you Jonathan Taylor?
I'm trading for all day. I'm trying to say this right here. Like, I'm not saying sell him. I'm not trying to say he's a bum, but I'm concerned about his targets. He's only averaging 3.5 a game. How are you going to catch 81 balls?
I mean, he's not going to catch his normal 90 balls, but he's still getting almost all of the running back. He had 27 carries, which is like insane. A career high or something. Yeah. He's going to score touchdowns.
And he ran for like 120, so he's getting like 5+ a carry. That's like that's elite.
I mean, it is.
I still believe his receiving numbers will go up some. He's too good of a weapon for them not to use them. I think Jameis just needs to get in a rhythm, which is saying a lot because he's focused downfield. That's just what he does. He's always been that way. Even at Florida State, I remember watching him.
So let me ask you this: like, if you were to just take Alvin Kamara's game logs and then scratch out Alvin Kamara and put in Jonathan Taylor, people would be saying Jonathan Taylor.
Josh would love him. Yeah, Josh would be all over him.
It's just because you're flipping a narrative of a guy who needs to catch passes but is crushing on the ground. If you put that in with again, Jonathan Taylor, people like Jonathan Taylor is the fucking man. Like, we need to buy Jonathan Taylor everywhere. So yeah, I mean, I agree with Dave there. Like, maybe we have to alter our expectations as to what you're gonna get from Kamara on a week-to-week basis. But yeah, if I'm getting 25 touches a week, count me in.
Look, I love Kamara too. I'm just concerned about the passing. It's like you're exactly what Dave said. Jameis is not going to look to check down. He just won't.
He's not going to get 80 catches like before. Maybe he catches 50. That's still more than most running backs.
As long as he can make that up in his rushing, which he has.
Yeah,
he took 24 carries for 120. I mean, he's never been that efficient on the ground. Well, he hasn't had that much.
Yeah, they usually have a Latavius Murray to do that, and Breeze is also.
Tony Jones
think about it. Also, Breeze has no arm, so he was looking for Kamara. This is for him and Slant Boy were his first guys. That's what he was looking for. Now Jameis is eyes down the field, so it's just a different offense.
And Tony Jones is gone, so
he is gone. Let's shift to the next Alvin Kamara. We're going to talk about Cordero Patterson. He's the guy who I stupidly said on week 1, who would ever roster Cordero Patterson? I said that stupidly. But it's okay. I can admit when I'm wrong, and I'm wrong. I'm 100% buying this. I can't
so am I.
Buying this.
Absolutely.
I love it more because he has dual positions. You can play him running back or wide receiver. That makes me love him even more.
I don't care about the receiver position because there's a ton of them, but the fact he has running back eligibility makes his value shoot way up. Did you see the touchdown he caught? He mossed some guy over there.
Yep.
He never looked that good in Minnesota. I don't know where this is coming from, but Matt Ryan loves him. He's getting targets. I saw a stat. I forget what it was, but his overall usage isn't that great. But when he's in the game, he's getting thrown to or rushed, and he's making like the most of every single touch he has. And I think he's got like the most points per touch in the league, which is like crazy.
Has to.
He's just and apparently he's a red zone monster. I mean, they don't have Julio anymore, and apparently they don't like Kyle Pitts. So, I love it too.
He only gets about 35% of the snap share, so he's not really on the field that much. But like you said, but what scares me is the touchdowns. In his 2 monster games, he had 3 touchdowns, 2 touchdowns. Yes, he's going to get targeted in the red zone, but I hate when a player blows up with 3 touchdowns, and especially a player like Patterson who hasn't really proven it his whole career. I don't want to go buy him. I want to sell high. I want to try to get equal value, like get a Zeke or someone like that in return.
Zeke, you don't want to trade Zeke for Patterson.
Zeke is fucking.
I have a home league where I have Patterson. I put him on the trade block. I'll tell you the 2 offers I got for him. Now, again, there's some numbskulls in this.
Is it a redraft?
Keeper.
Okay.
But it's a pretty aggressive keeper. Like you lose 3 rounds a year. You can only keep people from round 4 on.
Yep.
Tony Pollard, straight up for Patterson. And the other one was DeMarcus Robinson in a 6th round pick next year for Patterson.
So
no one believes in him, which is why you literally have to keep him. If you have him, you have to fight it out.
I don't think you're going to get. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't like. The only thing that scares me is he's basically Kamara right now with his efficiency. Yesteryear's Kamara. You got to hope that either he is Kamara 2.0, just took a lot longer to hatch from that shell, or he's going to get an increased workload. And, I got to believe the increased workload will probably come because it's not like Mike Davis is looking that great. So we'll see. But I don't think you're going to get – you're not going to – I don't –
You can't trade him high. You can't trade him high because unless someone really, really needs a running back. But even then, who are you going to get? Unless you're looking for maybe someone has like Dalton Schultz on their bench and you need a tight end.
Yeah.
But would you rather keep Patterson with that running back eligibility? You know what I mean? Like no one's giving you a Zeke. No one's giving you Jonathan Taylor. Just because of their name value alone, you're not getting those guys.
No, I know. But what I meant, because I had an offer today, straight up offer. Someone offered me Patterson, and they wanted, and they gave me like some receiver 3. I forgot who it was. Doesn't matter. Probably Devontae Smith or something like that. And he wanted Zeke, and I'm like, fucking Zeke's just giving me, like, if he doesn't score touchdowns, Zeke, like, he doesn't catch the ball anymore. It's all Pollard. Like, I'm looking at the matchups this week with Zeke and Pollard. And I'm like, this is a Pollard week against that Giants defense. This isn't a Zeke week to me. And I think you can categorize that. And I'm looking to sell Zeke, to be honest with you.
That's why I have no problem with that. That's fine.
Would you take Pollard for CPAT straight up? Like that one offer I got?
Absolutely.
The only reason why I wouldn't do, man, that's tough though. Because
not in a redraft. I mean, it's a keeper, but like, no.
Oh, okay. You're right.
No, I'm leaning towards no. For me, that kind of feels like a trade, just a trade. You're trading you're trading backup guys. But the bigger difference for me is that the dual position. Like, if I'm in a pinch, I've had some like massive wide receiver injuries in that. Like, I lost Judy and AJ Brown, so I actually might play CPAT at wide receiver. So like, that position, dual position eligibility is kind of what tips the scales for me there.
Yeah,
I agree.
I definitely agree with that. All right, let's get to our DFS strategies. Do you want to start, Dave, with your draft? Oh, you can't look at your DraftKings, can you?
Well, I know we were going to talk about, like, real quick. I know there's so much that changes between when we chat here on Wednesday night and then when we actually hit submit on Sunday at 1:00. So one of the things we were going to do real quick was just go through. I'm going to go through my final lineup from last week and just kind of talk through some of the changes I made and why I made those changes. Just so. Again, you're not getting us after Wednesday night. At least give you a little thought through the process. So I'm going to start with FanDuel. I actually had like a top 15% lineup on FanDuel last week. It was my best week so far. I crushed that. And we talked a lot about Josh Allen. The weather there scared me a little bit. And then I saw Patrick Mahomes for not that much more and with the highest projected point total for the week. And that's one thing we're going to touch on today too. We're kind of growing our knowledge base of DFS. One of the things you should always be looking at is what are the highest over-under games and targeting. If you need some savings, target someone cheap from the highest over-under games. So I saw that. I saw the Chiefs were the highest point projected. So I actually stacked Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, and Travis Kelce because it was actually pretty easy to do. Yeah. But, because like once Chuba came in, Mike Davis, super cheap. And then Sermon, once Elijah was out, like definitively out, Sermon became kind of a pretty easy play. So I was actually able to get some pretty good value at running back for like projected touches. So my lineup was Mahomes, Hubbard, Davis, Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, Robert Woods, Travis Kelce, Sermon, and the Jets. And we were joking about this in our chat. If you would have told me that Chuba and Mike Davis were going to outscore Devontae Adams and Travis Kelce combined, I would have laughed at you. But I ended up scoring 134.92 and had a top 15% lineup. But again, a lot of that was driven by value opened up at running back. And I want to try to get as much of that Chiefs stack as possible against the Eagles. I thought Andy Reid was going to come back and just try and run it down their throat. And he was throwing the ball deep, like very late into the game. So that played out. And that could have been even monster if Kelce and Adams even had average weeks, not below average weeks. This could have been a monster lineup. So, but they didn't kill me because Adams was like 69% owned in this one I'm looking at. Kelce was 74% owned. So we talk about that eating the chalk. Yep. Those didn't hurt. Those guys didn't hurt me. But I got Mahomes at 16% owned, Tyreek Hill at 8% owned. Game over once those two hit. So that was kind of the thought process on FanDuel. DraftKings, I got my ass kicked. I actually felt even better about the DraftKings lineup. So I had Dak Prescott, Najee Harris, Derrick Henry, who I thought Derrick Henry is a must play on DraftKings. I didn't see that as much of a must play on FanDuel. Robert Woods, CeeDee Lamb, Curtis Samuel, Disley, Devontae Adams again, and then the Lions. I mean, CeeDee Lamb, I thought for sure he was going to do pretty well with Amari Cooper. Will he play? Won't he play? Disley, the only tight end, he was splitting snaps with what's his face, Gerald Everett, and now he's the only guy. And then Samuel was a stone minimum at 3,000 coming back. I thought that they would give him a bunch of like short passes, so he'd actually. I liked him more on DraftKings for the PPR. Those guys all sucked. I mean, Henry did well, Najee did well, Prescott did well, but yeah, I mean, when I'm paying up big for Devontae Adams and he just sucks it up, it just wasn't. CeeDee Lamb at 4%. When I first opened that up, I'm like, oh hell yeah, and him throwing up that dud that really just kind of put the nail in my coffin. So DraftKings was a big dud last week. Wasn't great for me, but it was a more than a full double on FanDuel. I cashed in every single entry I put out there.
Oh, nice.
Damn, nice.
I only went FanDuel. I was terrible. I cashed in 1 of 4 leagues. Mad. My team sucked, dude. I stuck with Josh Allen. I thought he was going to be a beast in the range. I wasn't worried about it.
Which he was.
I stuck with Chuba too, just like you. But I went McKissick as my other cheap running back. I thought the price was too low for him. He was only 1% owned in this, and he scored 14.4. I mean, that's okay with me.
Yeah.
Cooper Kupp, terrible, 8.9. Odell, he was awesome. Baker just couldn't hit him because that would have blown up. Rondell Moore, that was a shot in the dark. That was dumb. 5.2. He's only 2% rostered. 5,300. I was like, I need someone cheap that could score with the best offense in the league. We talked about Kelce. 67%. That's the chalk. I ate that chalk. Jets defense was almost chalk. 42% roster to mine.
Yeah, 47 and 1. Yeah,
yeah.
No, hey, that's great for them. I mean, I would if you were going to tell me they were going to score 7 points, I would have been very happy.
You're the only reason why I played them, and you're the only reason why I picked the Jets to win on Tally Site. I'm the only person to pick the Jets to win, and to cover. I freaking did it, baby. Nice. All right, let's talk about this week. We're gonna start with. You want to start with FanDuel?
You tell me.
Yeah, we're going to FanDuel. We're going straight to FanDuel, where that's where I play. And I'm starting off. You want to start off with your quarterback real quick? Hold on, while I pull this up. Oh no, we do.
Yes. Yeah, whatever you want to do. I mean, for me, I got my player pool is pretty tight this week. I got Kyler's a top option. I got Daniel Jones against Dallas. And then I got Dak against the Giants. The Giants secondary hasn't looked good at 8,100. I mean, Dak's kind of in the middle there. I'm probably playing Daniel Jones this week on both sites. He's priced, especially on DraftKings, he's priced pretty far down. On FanDuel, that extra, $700, $1,100 over Kyler is going to, I think, come into play.
Yeah, my guys rounded out to be. Sorry, I just pulled up. My thing froze, man. This is the worst. My guys were.
Kyler but when mine freezes, I'm an idiot.
You're always an idiot. You're always an idiot.
Well, that's 100% true, but it's also beside the point.
All right, Kyler Murray, 8,500 against San Francisco. I never pay up for quarterbacks. I haven't lately, and I kind of want to because I'm never like that blow away 35, 40-point game for my quarterback. They always just skim by. So I went with the high upside there. But I did look at Daniel Jones, 74, but it's a little too pricey for me. I'd really get the stud for, what, over 1,100 more.
Yeah, I mean, so the other thing that Peak Ventures we talked about, like looking at the lines. I mean, the believe it or not, the Dallas Giants game has the highest over under on the slate. So, and then Dallas is actually favored by 7. So if we're going to play that out, I think we're going to see a lot of Daniel Jones passing the ball. So coming from behind, and that's probably the easiest place to beat them. I mean, you got to think Galladay's going to get locked down, but the Giants had other weapons that popped last week, and Saquon looked unbelievable coming out of the backfield. So, yeah, I'm because of that, I'm probably leaning Daniel Jones on both sides right now.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna stick with my Kyler Murray at the top. I don't know why, but let's go to running back position. I'm gonna start off with my running backs. I went really cheap and real expensive. Damian Williams against the Raiders, Chicago. He seems like the smartest, cheapest play at running back that's going to get all the volume. I couldn't even name you the backup for Damian Williams, so that just tells you something. And Williams looked really good. Like, do you guys know the backup for Chicago now?
It's Khalil something.
Herbert.
Herbert.
Yeah.
Herbert. That's right.
Yep.
Yeah, but Damian. But I'm not worried about Damian Williams at all. He's going to be awesome. Well, I mean,
yeah, he'll be good.
And then I went Austin Eckler at 7,700 against Cleveland. I think that they're going to have to dump the ball off a lot. I think they're going to have to do quick, short passes. Austin Eckler's going to catch those balls, and we saw him. He was electric last week. It's like,
God, I love Eckler. I'm so glad I've always loved Austin Eckler. He's my favorite player ever.
You were on that bandwagon since day one.
Since day one.
It only took you until October 6, 2021 to turn around.
God, I love him so much. He's so good.
Yeah, but you saw him finally get involved in that passing offense where like they were throwing him on these wheel routes and he was scoring touchdowns. Austin Eckler looked electric last week.
Yeah, so it's funny. I had Eckler in my pool. Wasn't at the very top of my pool, but I'm actually he's probably my favorite high-priced running back this week, at 7,700. There's a lot of value out there, man. Again, you're going to see guys are going to pop up on both because like they haven't been appropriately priced on either site. Leonard Fournette at 6,400, and if he's getting all those looks, I mean, like, why? Again, we want to chase opportunity, and right now against Miami, and he's getting all the opportunity. I know he got staked for a touchdown last week, but like that was just shit luck because he the amount of work he got relative to everyone else, he deserved that touchdown. I got Damian Williams, so I'm actually going to flex Austin Eckler just because I think he has a later kickoff, but. Yeah, Leonard Fournette, Damian Williams were pretty easy ones, like low-cost, guaranteed touches. I'm not touching Dalvin at 9,000. Aaron Jones, like that scares me based off what they were doing last week with Aaron. I'm sorry, with the what's his face, the backup running AJ Dillon.
Yeah,
and then like Henry at 10,400. That is literally CMC pricing there. So. I'll take I'll take Austin Eckler for almost $3,000 less, and probably get a similar type of score.
Yep, there's some other guys out there I want to mention. Chase Edmonds was in my little pool, 6,200. He's up there in scrimmage yards with everyone else. Like he's in the top 5. The guy's been pretty good. What do you think? If he
could score some touchdowns, he'd be great.
Well, that's my question. That's my
question.
Was
literally he was my top. So in my little algorithm, my model. He is my top-rated running back, but I think I got more touchdown equity in Fournette, Williams, and Eckler. And
that's what I was going to ask you though. With I already having Kyler in my lineup, is it okay to have Kyler and Chase Edmonds because they take away from each other, or that one time where he'll dump it off to Chase Edmonds and score? That's the only way it would ever happen.
Me personally, I mean, he's priced even higher. James Conner is at 6,300, which is nuts. If James Conner was cheaper, I'd feel better about the Kyler Connor stack because I think that at that point you're going to get a piece of every touchdown that's scored for the Cardinals, unless it's a low breakaway play. I mean, they just seem to literally, once they get inside the 5, like just like the Chiefs with CEH, like, well, we'll play you at the 10, but as soon as we get to the 5, you're out. So yeah, I mean, I feel better about if I want to lock up all the Cardinals offense with Connor and Murray there, but I did see Saquon. Saquon's on there, man, $7,800. Like, that's pretty interesting as well against Dallas. Like, if you're getting the Saquon that you got last week, he looks back. I mean, so yeah, Saquon didn't make the pool initially, but I really love my wide receivers in tight end this week. So I'm not sure where I'd save some money right now. So maybe on defense, but yeah, Saquon, maybe over Eckler. As it kind of see how the week progresses.
All right, let's see if these guys are in your pool. Moving on to receiver, I got Laviska Shenault, 5,800 against Tennessee. Chark just broke his ankle, shattered it. And we saw Viska finally show up, 99 yards. It was in that offense. I think he's going to be okay. And for 5,800, all he needs is a touchdown and, 50 yards. He gets what you – Dave, what are you doing?
Yeah, can you mute if you're going to have an allergy attack here?
I muted his mic. Anyway, yeah, back to – I was like, a
lot of bodily noises coming from over there.
Okay, yeah, Laviska Shenault, 5,800, super cheap in my opinion, but I had to afford Adam Thielen. I told we talked about earlier. I had him in my lineup. I do this thing where all my starts are always in it, and because I believe in it, and I didn't care how much he was priced. I think he's going to score a couple touchdowns and be a monster in that red zone. We already talked about Detroit sucks.
Yeah, that price that's a little too high for my liking. That's the same price as like DeAndre Hopkins. McLaurin's cheaper. I mean, DJ Moore is more expensive, which is nuts, but he's earned it. Yeah, it's a little too expensive for me. So before I go on, who's your third wide receiver? So you got Shenault. Shenault was in my lineup. It was in my player pool, but I didn't need the savings. There's someone else in that price range I like better.
My other receiver is Devontae Adams, 8,200. I spent up.
So we agree there. I don't think you're going to have a Devontae Adams dud 2 weeks in a row. So I have Devontae Adams, Keenan Allen at 7,200. I'd rather take that couple $100. I mean, Keenan's due for a score here. He just keeps getting so much. There's still so much volume. My favorite cheap play of the week is Jacoby Myers at 5,900. I just Laviska, I don't think is like the guy who's going to catch these deep passes. I don't think he's a replacement for Chark. Like if you watched the game last week, that deep ball he caught was more of like a broken pass or broken play where T-Law was rolling to the sideline and just chucked one up to Shenault. So I'm not necessarily sure that Chenault's like, what he's doing in the offense has changed. I think that was just like one big lucky play. So for me, I'd rather chase the volume with Jacoby Myers, especially against Houston.
Yeah. I hope that trend happens where Myers catches the most balls ever without a touchdown because every week they update it. I mean, I want him to score a touchdown, but it'd be cool like if he just kept on going forever and ever and ever and ever, like the story that never ends.
I trust the offense better with New England. I trust the rookie quarterback in New England, at least in terms of system better. And Myers is the clear number one option there. It's not even close. So, those tight ends are both like living off of touchdowns. If they don't get touchdown, they are completely irrelevant. So, I'll take Myers all day. 1,500. That's just too cheap for a number one and decent offense.
Right. Speaking about touchdown dependent tight ends or players, Jared Cook was my tight end, 5,200. I think they're gonna have to score some touchdowns, and I think he's involved in the red zone. We saw it last week. No Keenan Allen, no, Mike Williams. It was the tight end show in Los Angeles. Jared Cook's pretty cheap. I like to spin up, but not this week.
Yeah, so this is where I think our difference at quarterback. I mean, not fully, but this is where this is going to come play. I have Darren Waller as my tight end right now. I mean, he's getting too much volume to ignore. He finally got a touchdown again last week. I'm a fan of. It's for me. It's Waller. We're kind of bust this week, honestly, because you got Kittle at 6,500, Hawkinson at 6,400. I do think a Tanyan blow up game is coming, but I'd rather play that in a tournament and not in a cash game. But at 5,300, like that's super, super cheap. But yeah, Jared Cook, I mean, like he is one of the dudes there. There's a lot going around there because Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, and Jared Cook all matter.
No, you're right about that. Let's go to our next flex. You always play running back in FanDuel, right? Always.
I'll put it this way: when I'm building it out, I'll be open to running back and wide receiver, but more often than not, it's a running back that makes the most sense on FanDuel.
Well, I'll tell you what. I was smiling when you were talking about Saquon earlier because I wanted to surprise you. He's my flex. I usually don't trust. I didn't want to bust it out, but Saquon's in my flex at running back because that over-under, you talked about it. You know, that game, I expect that game to be wild, fun, crazy. Saquon looked I was watching Red Zone in my house, and I was like half drunk, half high, whatever. And I saw some guy flash across the screen, and someone just ran a Texas route. I'm like,
Blue Lightning.
Is he back? And like I kind of got hyped. I went into our little podcast chat with Mark with the Balsamos. I'm like, Saquon's back, Zeke's back. This is awesome, man. Like I was so happy.
2017, we're back.
It was great. It was great for a moment. So yeah, Saquon, I trust him fully. Especially.
Who are your running backs in? So Saquon, Damian Williams are gone. Who was your third running back?
Austin Eckler.
Yeah, so that's where we differed. So I went with Fournette. I guess Fournette instead of Saquon, and then was able to get like Keenan Allen and Darren Waller. Different. I mean, I don't hate what you're doing there at all. I'd be curious if you drop from Kyler Daniel Jones, like what else you could upgrade elsewhere.
Yeah, I'm playing with that right now because defense is a defense, whatever, but I'm currently playing the Bengals defense because Rodgers can get sacked. I mean, he doesn't throw many picks, but I don't know. If you look at the options down there, like 3,400 and below, there's nothing special.
Yeah, I mean Jacksonville semi-interesting against Tennessee, but that's going to be very
playing trash.
Yeah, it's going to be very dependent upon those wide receivers whether they're going or not. One that my model was like begging me to play was Houston against New England. I don't think I want to do that. But at 3,200, they're just the cheapest defense out there. Or no, sorry, Detroit against Minnesota is cheaper. I mean. That's an interesting one. I mean, Viking Minging Dave. What do you like? I mean, Detroit's kept it close. Like their defense is like respectable. I would say it's good, but it's respectable. Like, do you think they can get to Cousins enough to like make them viable at 3,100? I mean, like that's very cheap.
I mean, they need 6 points or so.
Yeah,
I don't think Cousins gonna turn the ball over, which means they have to get like 5 or 6 sacks. I don't know if they're gonna do that. I mean, the Vikings O-line's been bad. But the offense, besides last week, has been really, really good. Honestly, I think it's going to go back to being good. I mean, Detroit's been in some high-scoring games. They're giving up points. So I don't see any reason why they're going to really stop Minnesota. So unless they get a turnover or two, you know what I mean? I feel like it could happen. I don't see them getting 5 sacks. I mean, they can get 2 or 3, but they don't have Myles Garrett. Like last week, that guy was just pushing our freaking guys around like rag dolls.
He's so good.
He literally took one of our guys like out of the way. I was like, Jesus Christ, like ridiculous.
My defense is Pittsburgh on FanDuel, but that's working on the assumption that Drew Lock is going to be the quarterback.
Yeah, I like that.
If Teddy B is back, we'll maybe look to adjust that one. But yeah, I think maybe even like Minnesota against Detroit. Detroit's O-line hasn't been that great this year.
And like they might have 3 starters out too on the O-line.
Yeah, and then your pass rush is looking good between Hunter and Griffin is actually looking pretty good again. So
if they get a turnover too, I mean, I don't know what their price is. It's not
3,900, so it's just under the Pittsburgh. It's just under Pittsburgh. But yeah, I mean, I like Pittsburgh a lot right now. I mean, the other one you can see is like Carolina at 3,800 against
I love
Philly.
them.
Yeah, I mean, I like Carolina a lot too because again, you look at Jalen Hurts. Like it's not like Jalen Hurts is putting up a lot of touchdowns. Jalen Hurts is just putting up a lot of yardage and a lot of rushing yardage. So. Like Carolina, Eagles can move the ball pretty well between the 20s and do absolutely nothing in terms of point scoring, and Carolina can look really good. So, yeah, I'm thinking Pittsburgh with Drew Lock, but my adjustment probably would be down to Carolina if Teddy B is going to be the starter.
All right, well, let's shift over to DraftKings, where I went crazy. My lineup is nothing like the last. I think I have one repeating player from my FanDuel lineup.
I have a lot of repeating players.
That's but solely because I had someone supposed to do their DraftKings lineup and they didn't do it, so I had to go on the fly and do my own.
I had it ready.
I didn't
my computer. Oh yeah, well, obviously it wasn't Finn, so who the fuck else would he supposed to be?
The guy not here. How about that? He's got the
Idiot.
day off. All right. With my quarterback selection of DraftKings, I went with one of my starts of the week that I didn't even talk about yet. Joe Burrow, 6,100. He's been in sync. He's getting T. Higgins back. Jamar Chase has been,
Love Chase.
Well, hold
Such a
on.
stud.
Jamar Chase is what, 5 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns?
4.
A lot, yeah, 4 touchdowns. So Green Bay has given up 10 touchdowns on the year in the air.
Jair, I think, is out too.
Yes, and that's what I was going to bring up. Jair is going to be out. He's not going to play this game. Joe Burrow is going to sling it all over Green Bay. I truly believe that, and I think it's going to be another shootout game. I don't know the over/under. I didn't do my research on that, but I think it's pretty high, or maybe I don't know. Joe Burrow.
I'll tell you right now. Over/under for that game is
48,
51.5. So that's a big one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking, dude. We saw Jameis torch them for 5 touchdowns. I know that was like 3 weeks ago, but it's still
the second biggest. And the spread is only 3. So yeah, I mean, actually, Cincinnati's favored by 3. No, I'm sorry.
No, really?
No, I'm sorry. Green Bay. I read that backwards. They have points and then opponent points right next to each other, and so like I read it backwards. No, but 3-point spread. I mean, that's 24 implied points for Burrow. I don't hate that. I mean, again, I'm going Daniel Jones again. He's $100 cheaper. I think you get the rushing upside there too. And he's got this outside of New Orleans. Believe it or not, New Orleans versus Washington. Washington is the single best quarterback matchup so far this year. He's got the second best matchup. So, I mean, it's 6,000 on DraftKings. Like, that's just too cheap for a quarterback. I mean, it's just too cheap for a guy that can put up what he can put up.
Yep, I agree with that. All right, let's go to my running back spots. I went Najee Harris, like I always go, because he's going to catch a million. And this is full PPR, so he's going to catch the balls. And then I went another PPR guy who's getting more usage than I thought he would, Kareem Hunt, 5,800. Because if you notice in these Browns games, he's getting a lot of the carries and a lot of the touches where you think Nick Chubb should be. And I don't know why or how, but I'm liking it for Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, I feel like these guys keep ping-ponging back and forth as to who's the guy. And Hunt's had it for a couple weeks. I mean, this is no scientific. This is just complete gut feeling. I feel like this is a Chubb week. Because Chubb's been doing well, even though Hunt's been getting the scores. Like, Chubb still ran for 100 yards last week. Like, I just feel like this is that week that Chubb is the end zone guy.
I hope you're wrong.
Yeah. So my running backs, Fournette again at 5,200. I mean, again, there's it's too cheap. I don't know what's going on because I don't know if it was because the Sunday night game they couldn't properly price, but Leonard Fournette is way too cheap. So I got Fournette at 5,200, and I'm going back to 9,000 King Henry here. It's which is funny. Like, I wouldn't play him on FanDuel, but I play him on DraftKings, where catches matter. But yeah, I mean, he's just why fight it? He's almost in that CMC a couple of years ago where it's like his price doesn't matter. Like, I know I say that on FanDuel, there's just a little more like value on FanDuel. But yeah, I mean, the $9,000 price tag doesn't scare me at all because he's paying it off every week.
Yeah, he definitely is. I noticed. I'm just looking at my team because I threw it together real quick. I'm not a big fan of it, but we're gonna go through it anyway. Deontay Johnson, 6,500 target monster. We already know he's the number one guy there, and there's no other option. Juju's dead, by the way. Juju Smith-Schuster. Has anyone seen him?
No, he's not. It's Ben is dead. Ben missed him on like a 70-yard touchdown. He right up the seat, missed him.
I know. I saw it.
It's not his fault.
I know. It's just I feel like, yeah, whatever. Deontay Johnson. Okay, I went McLaurin 7,400. That's my big baller at wide receiver. And again, I went with Visca Chenault 4,800. So I mean, you could say Ben's dead, but Deontay Johnson's still producing.
I mean, he's catching a million short passes. So I have Jacoby again. Again, 5,600, just too cheap, especially in PPR. I got Chenault actually. I like Chenault better on DraftKings. His price is a little bit better, but also the PPR. Because again, he might catch 7 or 8 passes this week. I'm not anticipating any of that down the field stuff like he had last week. And then Devontae, I mean, again, 8,200. It's not like a massive break the bank here. And there's one really cheap tight end option that's even cheaper relative on DraftKings that I like. So I'm able to pay up a little bit for Devontae as my stud wide receiver.
Yeah, that's a smart move. At flex, do you want to play running back here or receiver?
So I have Keenan Allen in my flex right now. It's 6,500. Okay. That's also, again, just too cheap. I mean, especially for the full point PPR. He can pay that off pretty easily, catching, 10 passes for 80 yards. Boom, he's already at cost. And that 10 catches for 80 yards is a Keenan Allen game. Like that's a staple. And then if he catches more than that, or if he catches a touchdown, then he blows through that. I mean, again, 6,500 is just, I keep saying it for these guys, like just too cheap. Because he was at 6,800 last week. He was 6,600 against Kansas City, but then 7,000. I don't know why Keenan hasn't really been bad, and he's getting a massive target share. I don't understand why his price is going down.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. I went Tony Pollard in my flex because I mentioned it earlier. I think. Hold on, Dave. I'm sorry. I had to do your work for you. This is your lineup, by the way. But here's my thought process on Tony Pollard.
I apologize to everybody watching right now.
Is it going to be a Tony Pollard game, like I said it could be, or is it going to be a Zeke game? They go back and forth. Look, this is a gut feeling strategy. I went with Hunt because of my gut, and I'm going with Pollard because of my gut. And look, this is my Wednesday lineup, idiot. You don't understand. I change it throughout the week because me and Finn are elite like that.
Hopefully your gut is very hungry and you spend it more on food and not on DraftKings this week.
Not this week. Terrible. But I didn't get a chance to analyze it all. You have to analyze your lineups. I had 30 seconds.
Is Patterson a running back on these sites? I haven't had a chance to look.
I don't think he's in the. Main.
He's in the slate
this week.
He's in the England game. Who's playing?
He's in the 9:30 game. That's what.
I forgot about that. That's right.
So that's another thing. Like that just opens up more slates because you could play the non-main slates and play the London game, the Sunday evening game. So it gives you a little more optionality in terms of those games. We skipped over tight end. Who is your tight end?
Oh shoot, I skipped over tight end. Oh, I know who it is though. I know who it is though because it's so embarrassing. It's Mike Gesicki, only because he's super cheap, and I think Brissett's the worst quarterback on earth. And he can't find anyone open except for Gesicki. He's been decent, but
so I'm gonna raise your shitty tight end, Ricky Seals-Jones, $2,500.
So you spent all your money elsewhere, is what you're saying?
Yeah, well, I mean, he's a starter though. He caught a touchdown last week.
Who does he even play for anymore? I don't even know. He's been on 5 different teams.
So he's on the Redskins.
Okay,
and there's no LT3.
Who's that?
You know who it is. Idiot! Don't be stupid.
So yeah, no, he didn't catch a touchdown last week. It was 2 weeks ago. But
2 weeks ago, yeah.
Yeah, 4 targets last week. Obviously 2 for 19, not great, but I'll take that. I mean, at 2,500, he doesn't need a lot. If he turns all those 4 targets into 4 catches for 25 yards, boom, he paid off. We're good. I love him.
Yeah,
that's actually a very smart play. I was thinking as I was telling you my lineup, all my guys are average and I don't have those super studs because I wasn't willing to you look at the cheaper prices. Sometimes it's okay to take a 2 from your tight end if you're getting 35 from your receiver. You know what I mean?
I'm curious. I wouldn't be surprised if Ricky Seals-Jones is massively owned this week because people are going to fit in Derrick Henry. They're going to fit in Devontae Adams just like we did.
Yep.
So I wouldn't be surprised. It's something we should look at later on. I wouldn't be surprised if he has a massive ownership because he's just the stone minimum on.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. I'll put it this way. I feel pretty comfortable he won't be $2,500 next week. We'll call it that because last week he came in a couple plays and he got most of the snaps, but he didn't. He wasn't practicing with the ones all week. He wasn't game planning for him. Now they're going to do that, so that's why I think that he's a little mispriced there.
And the defense, I did go. That's been the bare minimum Detroit Lions because why not? Kirk's not going to throw interceptions, but like Dave said, he can get sacked. A weird special teams play. They just need 4 points. They just need 4 points, and they return on that, right? 4.5.
Yeah, I'm trying to find them on my list here. They were 20. I actually went cheaper than you. I went with the Eagles against Carolina. I just at $2,200, the Eagles can get sacks. They can get to the quarterback.
Yep.
I don't anticipate this being a massively high scoring game. So yeah, I mean, again, that's just where I slotted right now. I could very easily move off of a couple things here. Because I like Eckler more for on DraftKings PPR, so maybe I want to cut from Henry to Eckler on DraftKings and then spend the money elsewhere. But yeah, I mean, I got Philly in there right now as more sub. But yeah, I went even cheaper than you.
That's crazy, man. Oh, well, those are our lineups. I really learned a lot tonight from you, seriously, about the whole punting at this tight end that's a starter, and all he needs is 4 catches, and he pays up. Like I don't think about stuff like that. I'm trying to get. I'm one of those guys who I want my prices even, like 6,000 here, 7,000 here.
Yeah, I mean, you notice that I almost never do that. I'm trying to.
Yeah.
You try and get studs and then duds, but like I want the duds that are at least going to get, like, again, a Leonard Fournette is my dud at 5,200. Like,
yeah,
a workhorse running back in an elite offense.
Ridiculous.
You look at the duds as more of like, who's the most mispriced person? All right, let's see who they are, and let's play those guys.
Yep. All right, man. It's getting late. We got to get out of here. Dave, do you have anything to add before we go? Because we won't see you for another week.
Well, hopefully next week I'll have the computer set up right. If we can find the charger for it. I had it all. I was excited. I had everything set up on my desk. I was all, man.
I go, Dave, are you on? He's like, I'm setting my computer up. I'm like, there's no fucking way. This guy's setting the computer up.
He did say that pre-show. He goes, his microphone's gonna be not working. His headphones. So he thought it was going to be the components, not the actual computer. He at least gave you some credit.
No, everything was ready to go except for the charger cords had gone. So it's always something.
Whatever. Yes, it is. All right, we got to wrap it up. So thanks for listening. Find us on Twitter, Josh Kimball, OUS. It's Vitamin Dave 18 at OUS Fantasy. Of course, at the Say It Again Network. Okay, we got to get out of here. Bye, guys. I hate how it always does this.